In a small village, there lived an old man who was very wise, patient, and always willing to help others. The villagers often came to him for advice and shared their problems with him. One day, a young man from the village came to him and asked, "Old man, how are you always so calm and happy? No matter what happens, you never seem worried or sad." The old man smiled and replied, "Life is full of good and bad moments, but happiness comes from within, not from the circumstances around us." The young man was surprised and asked, "But what if everything goes wrong? How can you still be happy?" The old man began to share his own experience. "When I was young, my life was not easy. I worked in a small field. One day, a storm came and destroyed all my crops. I was very sad and thought I would never be happy again. I spent many days crying, but then one day I realized that being sad would not change anything. I decided that instead of complaining about life, I would try to find small joys." The young man listened carefully as the old man continued. "I started looking for happiness in little things every day. Sometimes it was the sunlight, sometimes the cool breeze, sometimes the words of a friend. I tried to see something good in every day. When hard times came, I told myself, 'This too shall pass.' And indeed, after every difficult time, ease followed. Happiness is a choice, and we can create it for ourselves." The young man thought for a moment and asked, "So being happy really depends on our attitude?" The old man nodded and said, "Exactly. We cannot always change our circumstances, but we can change our attitude and the way we think. When you focus on the good, life will feel full of happiness." From that day on, the young man tried to follow the old man's advice. He began noticing small joys in his daily life. Gradually, he found peace and happiness, even when challenges came. He learned that a positive mindset could transform his life. The old man's story spread throughout the village, and people realized that happiness does not come from wealth, fame, or circumstances. It comes from the heart and mind. The villagers also started finding happiness in small things, and the village became a peaceful and joyful place. Happiness is not something that happens to us because of circumstances, wealth, or the people around us. It is a choice that comes from within. Life will always have challenges, difficulties, and moments that test our patience and strength. But even in the hardest times, we can find small things to be thankful for, little joys that remind us that life still has beauty. By focusing on what we can control, our thoughts, our attitude, and the way we respond, we give ourselves the power to remain peaceful, positive, and content. Choosing happiness does not mean ignoring problems or pretending life is perfect. It means acknowledging difficulties but refusing to let them steal your inner peace. The more we practice seeing the good in every day, the stronger and more resilient we become, and the more we inspire others to find their own happiness too.